Hello, welcome to the first video of Margaret's Memories project. I am trying to design a miniature bedroom inspired by the 1910s. First, I will work on the wallpaper application. I will use Amazon boxes and envelopes that I have collected from online orders previously. Since the cardboard materials tends to buckle when they come into contact with glue, I will use double-sided tape to stick the wallpaper. I created these wall structures by gluing two layers of corrugated cardboard together. These are, as I said, Amazon boxes. I ensured that the corrugations run in the opposite directions. Then, using the widest double-sided tape I could find, I began sticking the printed flower patterns I had printed on the computer paper, ensuring the patterns matched seamlessly. Now I'm cutting the excess with a craft knife. I am cutting the overlapping part with a craft knife. The final wallpaper you saw at the beginning of this video is different from the one I am applying now because I changed my mind and switched the wallpaper design, but I applied it using the same method. This was a quite forgiving process. I made several mistakes and I easily fixed it by adding more tape and more wallpaper. Again, I'm cutting the excess by turning it upside down. The square you're seeing is a window opening. Surprisingly, the double-sided tape is much stronger than I anticipated, so I'm happy with the results. Again, I'm cutting the excess with a ruler. I suggest you to use a ruler, don't freehand it because it's quite hard even with the ruler. Again, here I'm patching my mistakes. Also, do not use craft knives like I do. I'm quite careless, but I must say I've been creating models for years, so I rarely cut myself anymore, so don't be reckless like I am. Now onto the floors. I'm using a thick cardstock. This was a leftover box from Christmas presents. And I am drawing 1 centimeter lines. My wooden pieces will be 1 centimeter by 5 centimeters, but you can choose your own measurements according to your design, your space. Before cutting it completely, I used a dotting tool to lightly score the surface to give a wooden texture. This was a tedious process, and it took me a few days to prepare these wooden floors. I put on a show I like and completed it slowly over the 3 day mark. Like it took me 3 days to complete only cutting this part. Here I am showing you the difference between sanded piece and non-sanded one. I decided to sand these pieces because they were looking brand new and sharp edged, and I wanted them to look a little bit old and natural. I wanted to use the double-sided tape method on the floor as well, since I don't want to risk splattering the paint on my wallpaper while painting the floor, or I didn't want the cardboard to buckle. So I had a leftover piece of black paper. I cut it to size of the floor and stick the wooden pieces onto the paper with glue. Now I'm cutting the excess and it is time to paint. For base color, I choose the dark brown. I applied 2 coats of this. After letting it completely dry, I am using dry brushing technique with an ivory color to enhance the details, but then I decided this was a little bit too much for me. The color was too light, so I mixed the base color a little bit to my ivory so it will look more natural, and I also switched into a wider brush because this was getting a little bit tiring at this point. Now I am using double-sided tape to stick the floor I prepared, I'm using the same technique as the wallpapers. This was much easier because the flooring I created had a thickness. It was a little bit stiff and I made sure that the paint was completely dry before I do this step because I did not want to get this brown paint onto the walls. And for the last step, I used a piece of balsa wood that I have on hand, painted brown, and create skirting boards. After sticking the skirting boards to the three sides, the floor and walls are complete. I'm using clips to edges to make sure that they stick well, and I'm using ruler here. I'm trying to wipe the excess glue with my fingers, but I'm quite sure that if you use tissue paper that will be more effective, but don't do as I do as I say. And here we go. The flooring and the walls are complete. And the next step is furnitures. See you in the next video. Goodbye.